Jeff and I have been excited to be a part of helping families from hard places really since I was in high school, and we started dating and got married, and that's what we've wanted to do. The Lord put that calling on our heart because of the verses in Psalm 68 about him being a father to fatherless and setting the lonely in families, and we've walked that out in different ways. But when we went from 3 kids to 4 kids, we were just kind of drowning for a little while. It felt like, man, have we had so many bio kids that we are not going to be able to help anyone else? And it was like that for a little bit. I was babysitting, and we had friends into the home all the time, and so we felt like we were still going to do some of this ministry, but we just weren't sure that we could do it the way that we thought we were going to be able to do it. And then Safe Families came along, and it was just a perfect shoe that fit. The hostings were shorter and less frequent. It wasn't that we would always have a child in our home, and God just seemed to really pave the way for us to do that. And we started to get really excited about that. We had this picture in our minds of how we were going to be part of this great rescue mission, and we were going to sweep in and save people. And within the first 24 hours of having a child in our home, we quickly realized that we were going to benefit and be transformed by this way more than anyone that we helped. When you see your teenage son in tears out of sympathy and compassion for a mom that he's never met, of a kid who's in our home, you realize that there are things being taught and learned here that couldn't happen from reading a book or just trying to teach them to your kids, or just praying and hoping that they would learn them. And so our family began to be transformed by walking in relationship with this family that we were with. So a lot of you know pieces of our story. Aliana moved into our home almost 3 years ago and was with us for about 14 months, and we just love her. She's just been a big part of our family. She's felt like one of the tribe, and we have a very close relationship with her mom, and we were really excited about the beginning of this story that we got to be in and where they were going to end up. But when it came time for her to move home, her mom was still facing a lot of big challenges, and I just remember crying to my friend and saying, I don't know if I can drop Aliana off at a homeless shelter. I just don't know if that's something that I can do. But it wasn't in my control. And we took her home to her mom, and she ended up living not in a homeless shelter, praise God, but in a studio hotel, week by week rental in a not very good area of town. And because of many different circumstances, including coronavirus, we weren't really able to see her very much, besides just talking on the phone. And I just remember feeling like, why are we doing this? Like, if the stories don't end up in this pretty little package, then why are we doing this? And I feel like the Lord really gave me the word that this is how Jesus spent his time too on the earth. And if all that you're doing is spending your time the way Jesus did, then that's not something to sneeze at. That's something that we want to do with our lives. So fast forward to just a month ago, actually, Aliana's mom reached out to me and asked if I would help them move into a new apartment. And I don't really know a lot of the details of what happened in between, but I was just like, okay. And I showed up and I helped carry stuff into this new place that they're living in, which was nicer than any place they've lived in before. And she asked me to sit down with her at the end, and she just started telling me all of these things about how if she had not moved into that little hotel room, which she was angry about at the time, the Lord would not have been able to transform her life the way that he did. And she said that she bonded with her kids in a way that she hadn't been able to because they were stuck in that little hotel room. She said that she was able to have the time to sit and think about why she had ended up where she was, what relationships were taking her to that place, and what choices. And she told me, even though she was angry at us in the past, she told me if we had not asked her to take her kids back and gone to that hotel room, that none of this transformation would have been possible, and she really sees how God used it for good. And I was just blown away and absolutely reminded of this verse in 1 Corinthians 3:7. So neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but only God who makes things grow. God was doing something in her life that we didn't even get to be a part of anymore. We weren't even getting to see it. It felt like she went away to a time capsule for 6 months and came back out transformed. And there's just so much trust there between me and God now, because I know that I don't have to have my hands in every pot. I can just trust him to be making the plants grow. He's the gardener. So we got to be part of the beginning where it was beautiful and exciting, and then the middle of the story was just messy and hard and difficult to see why God had asked us to do it. And we don't always get this chance to see the end of the fruit, to see what happens. We might not be able to a lot of times until heaven, but God blessed us with this chance to see the end. So we're going to continue to do Safe Families, not because it's all rainbows and daisies and easy stories, but because we get to work alongside of our Father, and it's what He's asking us to do. And mostly, and this is my most selfish reason, because it's just transforming our family. Our kids and our hearts are becoming things that we don't think they could unless we were joining our Father in this way. So we're really excited about it, and we hope that more people will join us.